Thank you very much, Gail. It's always just a pleasure and an honor being here. The fellowship, like I said, is fantastic, and it's really moved me in many different ways. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how I came from New Age to Christianity. So essentially, I was raised Catholic, and the way that I was taught was a very structured, rule-based system of worshiping God in a way that God was not tangible, he was not close, and that we had to earn our love, earn the love of God in our lives. And I had no idea about the system of grace that presented itself not too long ago. So what happened in my life was in high school, I started feeling this calling. And at the time, I thought it was from God. And what it turned out to be was a voice that was telling me to get into certain things that you would call New Age, occultism. So that took the form of different things: astral projection, chakras, stone healings, and all these different things that I opened myself up to. And it took many different forms. I would get scratched by demons a lot, and just there was a lot of turmoil in my mind, and I had no sense of direction in my life. So things started getting really complicated for me, and I didn't know who I was or what I was meant to do. And at that time, I started getting sort of these visions, and I started hearing the voice of God in my life, pointing me to different things, pointing me to his word specifically. And he would show me things, he would send me dreams. There was one dream where I was in hell and God saved me from hell, and there was another dream where I was in a lake and I was covered in these black bruises, and I heard the voice of God behind me telling me that if I would trust in him, everything would be okay. And as I was standing in this clear crystal lake, all of the bruises disappeared, and I felt the hand of God on me as he was baptizing me, essentially. And it was one of the most beautiful dreams I've ever had. It touched me so deeply. And I just remember in this dream conversing with God, and him being like this super, super just amazing fatherly figure that you can just relate to and talk to about anything. And it was so different than the God that I knew growing up. And so at that time, I was still facing that conviction where I thought, is this true? Maybe I should go back to New Age. And so unfortunately, I was very stubborn at the time. And one of the ways that I fought God was by opening up the Bible, reading it, trying to prove that my way of living was somehow correct. And so what happened was I started falling in love with the Bible and all the revelations and the visions that God has for everybody's life, because he really just wants everyone to be saved. He wants everyone to join his family. And it's all about grace. You know, when we are willing to accept his love, that love can overflow to others through his Holy Spirit. And we just need to be willing to give up the things that he doesn't want us to have in our lives, because they are destructive. And he's a loving father that's looking out for us. And he's really shown me that in many different ways. And, you know, there's a lot of things in the Bible that many people can't grasp, you know, whether it's homosexuality is wrong, or greed, or all these different things that the world has become so attached to accepting as right. And for me, I struggled to accept these things too. You know, just understanding that, you know, I know people in my life who are homosexual or who dabble in the occult, and I've come to an understanding that when we are willing to submit ourselves to God, God is willing to replace the things that we give up with something much greater. And we just need to be willing to accept. And he doesn't want us to do this on our own. Salvation belongs to God. That means it's a gift. Salvation and righteousness are given through the Holy Spirit. And it's just been a fascinating journey. Coming to God and becoming a Christian has really opened the doors of fellowship, coming to church, and meeting such great people. So I'm very grateful and looking forward to where God is continuing to take me. So thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Praise God. Give that back. Thank you so much, Liam. That was excellent. We're going to get a longer testimony and put it on YouTube. We're going to be filming testimonies probably from our home after the new year. If anyone else wants to give a testimony for healing,